What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here today playing Rimworld by Ludion Studios. And this is a game that got sent to me. I had asked the developer if I could check it out, and I just wanted to let you guys know this is one of my most requested series. And so, unfortunately, with Warhammer 40k Space Marine ending, we've got a little bit of a gap-toothed grin going on with regards to our schedule. And so I needed to pick something else to fit the bill, like maybe make like 15, 20 episodes, I don't know. And so hopefully, if I play this game astutely enough, we should last for a while, and I should be able to give you some hints on how to play the game. So what is Rimworld? Rimworld is a survival sandbox game in which you have a couple colonists which crash out of Atmo and land on a barren planet. It's loosely based on like Firefly. It's got some things from like 40k. Basically, they've drawn from a lot of random lore bases to create the game. And so it is a very interesting game. It's a lot of fun and it's got a lot of potential. And so you've got to take these 3 to 4 guys and you've got to lead them to victory and help them survive for as long as possible on a desert planet. So without further ado, let's get started because I know you guys really aren't interested in hearing me blather along here on the menu screen. We'll go to New Colony. There's a bunch of difficulties here, everything ranging from easy to absolutely 100% random and normal. Now, why does that matter? Well, the game has a number of difficulties, but the game also has a dungeon master, which is kind of an interesting facet of the gameplay. So if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, it's the exact same thing. The game has an internal dungeon master that determines what events happen to kind of mess with you. So if you hear like a fatal nah, 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 and you have like a little bit of a problem, this game does the exact same thing. And these are the different personalities you can give it. There's everything from completely random to very, very aggressive to kind of a difficult game but without any combat. There's a bunch of different things right here, but we're going to go with Cassandra Classic because that is the representative gameplay. So if you wanted to kind of, I guess, quantify how difficult this would be, I would say it's about as difficult as XCOM on Classic. Like, it's fairly difficult. Like, you're probably going to die pretty quickly. Let's go next. And so we get to choose our characters. And so what I'd like to do is we're going to go through the tabs here. We've got Salt, we've got Rosario, and we've got Victor. Victor sucks because he's incapable of a bunch of jobs. So first things first, everybody's got a backstory that gives them bonuses to various things, and then they've also got jobs that they flat out won't do. It's also got traits. The traits don't do anything right now, so he's a stuttering musician who's worthless at everything. And so we're going to randomize him out. You always want your first starting people to be capable of doing all jobs. Hands down. You're really kind of hobbling yourself if you don't do that. However, this one's skills kind of suck too. He's a scientist, or she's a scientist. He's a scientist. And that's not very good, so we'll go for something else right here. I do like to start out. The game's very, very difficult. This game, all the difficulty is in the beginning of this game. None of the difficulty is at the end. So if you can survive the early part of the game, you're good to go. So I kind of like to front load the odds in my favor. Additionally, I'm going to go down to advanced right here. We're going to go with a large map. So when it randomly does that. And then we need to name everybody. So we've got Rosario. I guess I'll give him, his name will be, I don't know, we'll give him the nickname Cross. And then we've got Salt, the surveyor, and that's because his last name is William Salt. We're going to name him Big Cook. And then we've got Beth and Lynn. We're going to name her, oh, we can't do numbers. Oh, man. Well, since she had 2 first names, I was going to name her 2 name, but I guess not. I guess we'll call her 2. There we go. We'll just give her the number 2, I suppose, since we can't do the other, since it won't fit, and that makes me upset. But anyways, we've got a miner right here. We've got somebody who's, oh, these little flames. What are these little flames? That means they're really, really good at whatever that job is, or it means that they have a passion for it. It means they learn it really, really quickly. So she's good at research. Or I'm sorry, he's good at research. She's good at mining. And then janitor is really good at construction, growing, and artistic. Well, he's got passions for other things, so he's kind of that Goodwill Hunting. He's got other artistic endeavors, but he's good at kind of like general manual labor, which is good because you need somebody that's good at manual labor. Let's generate our map, and I'm going to try and do my best to explain this game as we go along as sort of a tutorial, I suppose, because the game is a little bit complicated. There's not a lot to show off. I get this game requested a lot, by the way, and I resisted it for a while, but I guess with where we're at right now, I should probably play the game and show it off since I get so many. Ooh, we started out in a really, really good spot. I'm happy with this starting spot because we've got a geothermal generator right there. We've got this, you see this little earth sphincter right there just off in the corner? That thing generates steam that we can get electricity from. That's really, really good. Anybody that's familiar with the game gets really, really happy when they see that close to your starting area. There's 2 of them, in fact. We may be in really, really good luck here. If there's a third one, I may just have to change my drawers. Take a look around the map and things you want to be aware of in the early game. So in the early game, we start out with a bunch of things that are X'd out right here. So we've got metal, we've got food. This is all stuff that has fallen from our, I almost said our airplane with us, but it's fallen from space with us. Debris, I guess, the debris that is around you. We've also got silver. We spend that on training later on. But what we want to do right now is we just want to rubber band box all this stuff and hit the F key, and then there it is. If it has a little X over it, it means they won't haul it. It means you've been barred from hauling that, and they just absolutely will not do it. So if you rubber band box things and you press the F key, if you look down here, there's a little bit of an F and an X. If I do that, that's right, it took this forever to be rendered out. The effects are amazing, but no, we've got the F key and then that little X over it means they won't haul it. You press the F key, bam, now they will haul it. And so if you just wanted to select metal, you can double click it. There it is right there. You double click it and you can now haul just the metal, or you can haul just the potatoes, or you can haul just the berries. But for right now, I'm going to have them do that stuff. And in the first day, there's an itinerary. There's a bunch of things that you want to get done in the first day. First and foremost, whenever you start this game, you're going to have this little block right here of ore. If you right click, it brings up this menu, or you can click this right here. You go to orders and you're going to say mine, and you want to mine that out in your first day. Definitely want to mine that out. If you don't mine this out, you're going to have a metal shortage pretty quickly, and losing out on metal is going to be super lame. Because we've got a miner, I'm going to be a little bit more ambitious in this playthrough as well. We'll get this done probably by afternoon because all of our guys are decent at mining. And there is a huge difference between people that can't mine and people that can. Believe me, if you've got somebody at 13 mining, they're going to go through the wall like it's made out of paper. And so there it is. The day's not even half done. To draw a correlation, in my playthrough, nobody was good at mining, and it took us all day the first day just to get that done. And so nothing else got done in my little city in that day, and it was actually sort of concerning. Now, we want to pick a space to build our base just in case. I think this is going to be the spot that I choose. There's not a whole lot of farming land around it. But there are 2 geothermal generators, which are a big deal, like a huge deal, a massive deal. Of all the things that you want on your playthrough, you really want geothermal generators. I suppose I could just do a base right here and then wire these 2 together later on, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe we'll cut it kind of along the middle and we'll just do it right there. So let's mine that out. And the reason why I'm going right here is you see this sand right here? We can't grow plants on the sand, like we can't farm on it. And while farming isn't incredibly important, it is something that you probably want to endeavor to do in the early game. So let's build ourselves a shelter here. I'm just going to go like 24 out. Well, we'll go out a little bit further. We'll make it a little bit larger just in case. And we could do that through the structures menu. It's going to have all your different wall types and your doors and things like that. We'll drop a door in right there. And then we're also going to go to furniture, and we're going to drop a couple beds in here right now temporarily. Just 3 up against the wall. So everybody needs cuddles. They've fallen from space, and everybody is unhappy right now. I'd be pretty unhappy if I fell from space too. I would definitely be in the mood for maybe some conciliatory cuddling maybe. So that's what I'm going to assign them to do. And so they're going to build this stuff right here. And I really do feel as though if you can get your first house built and all of your ore mined out in the first day, you are in amazing shape to get started. I'm going to destroy their beds just to make sure that they get these beds done and that they sleep in them tonight. That'll make them a little bit happier. The other thing that we want to do in order to keep everybody happy is in our structures menu. People get grumpy when they have muddy toes in this game, so you want to give them a metal floor for this building. Otherwise, well, we'll go through, it makes them unhappy, and then they go on batshit nutty killing sprees. I'll leave it right there. We'll talk about that in just a second. For now, I just want to cover what you want to get done in your first day, which is basically what we've gotten done right here. You build a house, you get a bed, you get all of that ore mined out, and you should be pretty much good to go. The other magic thing you want to get done is moving your stockpiles around. So I'm going to put a big old stockpile maybe right there on top of that sand since it's worthless to me anyways. Then we also need a dumping stockpile, someplace to put our dead bodies and our refuse. I'm going to put that away from the base, maybe over here in the corner. And we'll just leave that where it is for right now. Alright, and so our first night, not a bad day for us on our first go. I'm pretty excited about this. So for our second day, what do we want to accomplish? Well, in the second day, we definitely want to get our floor plan in. We want to start working on electricity, which means I'm going to give the orders to mine this out in a pretty large radius to give us space to put in a geothermal generator. Other things is we want to go to our zoning menu, and we want to go to delete zones, and we want to get rid of these 2 zones right here since we've put in 2 that we're going to be using anyways. As soon as they get that mining done, we're going to start running an electrical grid. And so you want to be very, very rapid in the early end of the game. As I said before, this game is very, very heavily front-loaded. And so if you can survive the early game, you're probably good. But if you can't survive the early game, you're done for because that's where all the challenge is. Buildings, we need a nutrient paste dispenser. I'm going to put that in right there. Why do we need a nutrient paste dispenser? Well, if you go to your character menu, you're going to see a number of tabs. So if you click on any character, you're going to have thoughts, needs, and character. Thoughts is where you're going to see the most pertinent information. This is really what you want to pay attention to as you go through the game. Their thoughts are going to determine whether or not they go insane. And you'll see there's a number of modifiers down here. They have new colony optimism, which is going to give us a little bit of a buffer zone in our first 5 to 6 days. So yeah, your first 2 weeks basically, you've got that right there, which pretty much keeps them from going insane no matter what. But you got 8 raw food right there. If we can synthesize nutrient paste, it cuts that down to a -8. And so we want to do that as soon as we can. Now, this little bar right here determines how soon they go insane, just in case you're wondering. Happiness and fear are an amalgamation of loyalty and basically these little modifiers down here. You'll see that my miners are a lot less happy than everybody else. That's because mining, for whatever reason, makes people just crazy. Nobody likes mining in this game. It definitely makes them see things in the darkness. Our second day, we didn't get done what I wanted to get done, which is unfortunate because by day 5, we're going to get attacked by something. We're also, oh, we're not out of metal. It's saying low metal up here. If you're ever wondering, there's notifications up here that let you know what's going on. These notifications are often wrong, though, with the way the game's going right now, so just keep that in mind. We also want to get all this nasty stone out of our house, so let's tell them to haul this if they get any free time. With the hopper, you need a hopper next to your, what is this? A roof has collapsed because it was too far from any support. And it's happened twice. Okay, so that's bad. We need to put in a support right here. So let's go and we'll take structures. And what we'll do is we'll situate like a structure right there. We'll situate a structure over here. There we are. And so that should keep us. You got to be within 6 squares of a wall. Otherwise, you'll have a collapse. And it'll be bad. It'll be really, really bad for you. I'm going to have them build a geothermal generator now. And unfortunately, let's go ahead and do that. Geotherm. There we are. And we're going to have to put our structure around that, unfortunately. So maybe, I guess I'll put one right there, one right there, one right there, and one right there. And that should keep us from getting cave-ins, pesky cave-ins that'll destroy our generator, which would be absolutely awful. Other things we want to do right now is we want to make life more pleasant. So we're going to put in a couple of lamps just to light this up in the future. And then we also want to put in a couple of plant pots. Like one right there, one right there. And then we also want to put in, I guess what I'll do is we will mine this out. We need to wait for the electricity to get over here. Now, what are the differences between some of the walls? Well, the metal walls right here, they have a conduit built into them, so these transfer electricity by themselves. Stone walls don't do that. So I tend to stay away from stone walls. A lot of people really like stone walls, and they use them like crazy. I am not that guy. With what we've got going on right here, we unfortunately, let's go ahead and get them started with some mining right here. And we're going to build into the wall, sort of rat style. Because we don't have an option. If you try and build your base outside in this game, you're just going to get just waffle stomped. You are definitely going to get mollywopped into oblivion. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be absolutely terrible. So let's put in metal walls right there so we can transfer this electricity around. And you want to do that one at a time because they will build themselves into the walls. Unfortunately, the building order has not been totally ironed out as of yet. And going into our third day, I'm not really happy with where we are right now. I'm feeling we've got geothermal generators, which really gives us a big helping hand for making our early game easier because we can build a lot of stuff using electricity. Had we not gained that in the early gameplay, I think we would have been in a lot of trouble. But as it stands right now, that is going to help us out. It's going to give us a little bit of a helping hand. Come on, guys, build the walls. I believe. Believing in you so hard right now. The belief is definitely firm. The belief is just rigid. It is filled with rigidity. The spirit of rigidity is inside of my belief that you can accomplish this right now. And so 1 or 2 more walls and we should be 100% good to go. There it is. And the other thing we need to do is make some batteries. Why do we need batteries? Well, we want to start storing some of this electricity to make our lives easier later. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a couple of batteries right here on each corner. And then maybe a couple, yeah, that should be fine. And then let's start running some power conduits through our structures menu. So there's a conduit right there. This one's touching, so it's not going to have to worry about it. And we're also going to want that to go right there. And so once these conduits have been run, we will have electricity, my friends. We will no longer dwell in darkness. We will be a modern society, and it will be amazing, and everybody will be happy. And there will be festivities. Festivities. All right, so that's there. And now you'll see these batteries start to fill up from the excess electricity that's being generated from our geothermal power. Should also see that they have not put down the power conduit. I thought I told them to build that, but let's go ahead and do it. We are going through our metal pretty rapidly right now. We are going to want to have to lock down a location where there's some metal. Luckily enough for us, it looks like that location is right down here, and that's going to work into our plans. So everybody's idle right now. Everyone is idle. And so we want to think about taking a look around. This is going to be kind of a junction point at which you want to decide what you want to accomplish based on your priorities. Now, we have a lot of food around, like a ton of food around. So I don't think we're going to focus on planting any of our farming instruments anytime soon. I think we're just going to hang out with what we've got right now. A squirrel has gone mad and will now attack everybody it sees. That sucks, but we can live with it. And then the other thing that I want to do is I need to mine out another one of these right here. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do something like that. And how this is going to work. We need a big room right here. A big room. Like so. And I'll explain why we need said big room in just a moment. But for now, just rest assured, we need this. This is going to be our kill room. So as we bait things in to fight with us, and Big Cook is over here like pistol whipping and punching a squirrel to death. There it is. The squirrel has been beat to death. Our nutrient paste is up and running. And so let's try. If I can get this big room done before we run out of our new colony optimism, we're going to be in really good shape. If our new colony optimism runs out before this room is done, we're going to have some problems to deal with. It's going to be bad, because then we're going to start taking major penalties for mining, and after that point it becomes very, I suppose I'll say that I'm filled with timidity when it comes to mining after that point, because the game does penalize you very heavily for mining. Other things that I'd like to do is let's get another metal wall going in from right here. And you want to have layer upon layer. You want to have a lot of fail-safes in this game. You don't want all of your electrical conduits connected to one spot, because it will backfire on you. So you want to be careful as you play through. You want to have, because this is going to be our base in and over here, you want to be careful about the way in which you assemble yourself, because at a certain point it may be possible to knock out the power to your entire base by just like clipping a wire right here. That's what we don't want. So we're gonna have power coming this way, probably another hard line coming this way, and another one coming this way, just making sure 100% that we never run out of electricity no matter what happens, because you will run into major problems if your lights go out. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get at that metal, which is disappointing. We're going to get some of it, but I may mine out... Oh, we got metal right there, too, so maybe we'll take that. Well, we've got a couple of nice little ore veins right here, but nothing that we're hitting as a result of anything else that we're doing. So maybe I'll mine out this... Oh, we've got cave-ins. Okay, so yeah, that was expected. We are building a little bit too widely right now. And I don't know if that counts as debris, or if that counts as a wall. If that counts as a wall... We'll leave it where it's at right now if it counts as a wall, because that may save us. We've got to name our town now on day 7 after our first week. I've already come up with a name. It's going to be New Guapington. There we are, because our ultimate goal is going to be to make tons of money and turn this thing into a giant golden city that is filled with everything that everyone loves in life. I mean, I could have called it, I suppose I could have called it New Goodington or something, but I guess we'll go with New Guapington for right now. There it is. So they are now done with the jobs that I've given them. Which now begs the question, what job remains? Well, we want to build ourselves a little residential area. So let's get going in there. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of extra space in case I want to expand that room. But we'll start building little 5x5s in here. In case you were wondering, you do get a bonus for a 5x5 room, which is specifically why I'm making 5x5 rooms. There is a happiness bonus for staying in a room of 5x5 or bigger. I think there's also a bonus for 6x6, but 6x6 just takes up too much space, so we're not going to do it right now. The other thing that we need is a jail cell, which is what one of these is going to be. And why do we need a jail cell? Well, to capture other human beings in case they try and cross us. And so we have raiders that have landed nearby. So there she is, Inessa. She's a commissar, and I would love to make the attempt, since she can do everything. She's a bird lover, but she has a thirst for bestiality. Dear God. Okay, well, I suppose that kind of bids worse for the squirrels and the muffalos around here than anything else, although that does kind of bring a whole new meaning to muffalos if you were to use colloquial slang, I guess. But anyways, she likes to bang out some animals every now and again. Right? As long as the animal's on board, if the buffalo is wanting and willing, then hey, go for it. I don't judge. However, if you're running around tackling buffaloes like just like tackling them out in a field, you may want to reevaluate your life choices there for just a second, pal. Buddy old pal. I suppose the other thing that I would like to do is maybe run another conduit. Let's take another mining order over here. I'm going to do another one to go like so. And this is going to be like our real backup generator right there. Like really kind of making sure that no matter what we do, there's a power conduit coming to our base. You want to have layer after layer after layer of just random redundant systems. Believe me, you will regret it if you don't do it. Somebody will just like blow up a wall somewhere, and the bandits have begun their assault. Now, what is this magical thing that I have done where everybody goes where I click? If you select everybody and you press R, it puts them in combat mode, or it drafts them. And I don't have any guns on anybody right now because I'm not interested in getting in a firefight. What I am interested in is baiting the enemy in And so we're going to run inside right after she sees us. Then we're going to run outside. Oh, she set our house on fire. Dick. So we need to set ourselves up. I hate sometimes they don't seem to aggro you properly. Like, she clearly saw us right there. We need to set up a home zone. So if you go to the zone menu, you'll see this little menu right here. The home zone determines what your guys defend and where they put out fires. Since she's busy fighting with the wall anyways and kicking on the door, there we go. Now we can... Oh, why are you doing this to me? Like, everybody fight her. Okay, so she's been knocked out. Let's get that fire put out. Now that she's been knocked out, I am going to dictate... She's laying on the ground bleeding profusely from her skull at the moment, because that's what happens when you try and roll out on New Guapington, my friends. You do not roll out on New Guapington. We are hard as hell over here. I mean, we go haired, as J-Rock would say it. Anyways, let's drop some beds in right here, and we'll convert those into jail cells, because I want to convert her to our cause. Now, to make a jail cell, you have to have a door and you have to have a bed. And to turn a normal room into a jail cell, you click on the bed and you press F. And the bed, oh, they're going to try and sleep in there. That's fine. I want that to be a jail. And so the beds become brown and crusty because I guess people in prison have way too much time on their hands. And once we've got that out of the way, we now have a place that we can house her. So if I draft 2, I can say go capture Inessa. 2 will run over here, grab Inessa in the most aggressive way. That is not what I wanted to happen. I think it's because I didn't have the door put in. That's what happened. It was counting this all as one giant room. So there we go. Inessa has been captured. Now, how do we convert her to our side? If you go to her menu right here and go to prisoner, you want to go to try to recruit, and then you can also go to friendly chat or vicious beatings, whichever. If you want to beat your enemy into joining you can do that, or if you just want to talk them into joining you can do that. Both seem to be about equally as viable. I've tried both, and there doesn't seem to be a major problem with either. So, choose which one you like. And you need to get her loyalty up to here. And so once you get her loyalty up above that bar, you can assign somebody in your overview menu to be a warden. Now, the overview menu, how does this work? The overview menu is very, very interesting because this is going to be, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff in here in the future. These boxes determine what they can do. So you've got jobs, firefighting, doctoring, wardening, cooking, constructing, repairing, growing, mining, plant cutting, crafting, hauling, cleaning, and researching. Now, right now, everybody can do every job. As soon as we draft her as well, she'll be able to do every job. But what we need right now is a warden, somebody to feed her and talk her into joining us. The boxes, if you look at the border, the brighter the box border is, the better they are at that job. So I'm going to assign Big Cook to do it because he's got that white border on his warden skills. We also need to release 2 from military service in case you had forgotten. Like, don't forget to release people from military service. It will backfire on you. It will totally suck and it will backfire on you. I'm going to put in a metal wall right there. We're going to start running some conduits from every direction. And the way that I run these, there is going to be a reason behind this. I'm going to space them out 2 from the walls, and that is, there is an end game right here. There is a decision being made to do this. I'll also need to fix this up a little bit. This is not what I need it to be, but I'll explain what I'm doing in just a few minutes. Or I guess once we get to the point where it becomes necessary for you to really understand what right now it's just stuff that I need to get done. Basically, I'm trying to make room for defilade so that we can get to firefights in this room. I'm also trying to make room so that enemies come around a corner strangely and walk into a bunch of turrets and it's just like a giant kind of reach around. I mean, not like a reach around, but like when they come around the corner, basically it's just like surprise and they just get nailed by like 600 bullets in the forehead. That's what I'm going for right now. Our batteries are full up, which is very, very good. That means that if we ever get a power outage or anything like that, we'll have excess power that will go ahead and keep us in the glow. And everybody seems to be all right now. I mean, loyalty is okay. How long do we have for New Colony Optimism? We've got 2 days left, so we've got a lot of time to complete this over here. So hopefully we can get her done. We didn't have to kill anybody, so we don't have any post-traumatic stress syndrome. If I had killed Inessa right there and they had beat her to death, they would all be going kind of crazy right now. They'd be like, oh my god, I murdered a guy, because they're all civilians. They're not used to killing people. I do wish that soldiers did not have... I guess, the soldiers can get post-traumatic stress syndrome because obviously that happens, but B, I want them to be a little bit more resistant to it. Like, they've been in combat. They know what to expect. If you have somebody that has a combat background, as it stands right now, if anybody gets killed in the vicinity of anybody else, everybody else is just like, oh my god, and it, ruins their life. They just can't live with themselves. Come on, get these rooms done. Please get these rooms done. If we can get this done before 2 days is up, oh my god, we will be in such amazing shape. I'm going to mine this out, and I'm going to make a general room right here where craftings can happen. So make like a like a room right there that's about 6 deep. You don't want to make it too large because then you get cave-ins, as you saw before. Then other things we need to do is we need to start furnishing all this. So let's put in lamps. Just one for each room so that everybody's not sitting in the dark all night. And because we've got a geothermal generator, we can be a lot more ambitious with our electrical systems. Just in case you were thinking about it. And it appears as though power is not running properly. Where is this going wrong here? Ah, we're missing a conduit right there. We're missing a connection over here somewhere, so we'll go like that. I'm going to get rid of that door in just a moment, and you'll forgive me as I shotgun some hiccups at you. Those tend to happen. It's the weirdest thing. When you're LPing, you start hiccuping all the time. I think it's because you're using... It might be because I use my diaphragm to speak, because I used to be in radio, and so when you're in radio, they teach you to speak with your diaphragm. And so I think that might be why. I'm stimulating the diaphragm too much. We have 28 food left, so we're okay there. We may want to start harvesting out some new food pretty soon. I'm going to go to the orders menu, and if you want to manually harvest out some food, you go to right-click, you go to orders, and you go to harvest plants, and you look for any of these berry bushes that are around. I'm going to harvest up all of this right now. We're going to get as much food as we can so I can make a real quantitative guess as to how long we can last without me having to plant crops. The other thing that I'd like to do while we're here is let's make some little alcoves. I messed that one up. So I'm 3 spacing these for a reason. It's because we're going to put turrets in each one of these alcoves. And the turrets have to be 3 spaces away from one another. Otherwise, when they blow up, they destroy each other. Just in case you were wondering. Almost. I'll have some freestanding ones over here, I guess. I think that should be outside the blast radius. I'm not counting these all together too properly, though. But that mining right there has a real reason, and we'll deal with that in just a little bit, too. Hopefully, we'll recruit Anessa really soon. And up here, it says Big Cook has failed to recruit Anessa at a 10% chance. That's okay. As soon as that gets done, we're going to be in much, much better shape. How long do we have before you guys run out of new colony optimism? Half a day. So we really need to get this done. Let's get all the beds in place, too. And I am trying to get myself to the point where I'm future-proofed as to new colonists. And as soon as that's done, we should be... Come on, Anessa. Join up. You can see him having a conversation right there, by the way. Raiders have landed nearby. And it's just one. It's a guy named Semyon. Alright. Well, Semyon will try and... Is he a joy wirer? I don't know what a joy wirer is. I think it's somebody that's really, really good with electronics or something. He's manually dumb. But he'd be a good guy to just, like, stick on researching or something. Or to, like, stick on crafting. I don't know if that'll count for manually dumb. We'll see what happens. When he comes to attack us, we'll take care of him. We'll dish out the hurt. And then we also want to put in some plant pots in some of these back rooms. So that people are happy. Because plants make people happy. I don't know, plants don't inherently make me happy. But I guess within the confines of this game, it makes people super happy. So we're just going to go for that right now. The other thing we want to do is delete that bed so that they don't sleep out here. I want everybody sleeping in their own room so that they're gaining happiness over time. So please break those down. Damn. Okay, well, we've got another day or two, so whatever. Not a big deal. These plants over here need to be planted, so you need somebody with a gardening skill or somebody with the plant skill to do that every now and again. Come on, guys, go to bed. The raiders have this odd tendency to always show up right before you go to bed. It's an irritating feature. Like, they don't show up randomly. They show up right before you go to bed every single time so as to press your sanity. And so, and I wouldn't have a problem with that except that the raiders crash land from space. So obviously they don't have any part in planning like where they're coming from. And so we want to jump him now. And we've been shot. Big Cook has taken... Wow, he's actually doing fairly well at hitting us. Alright, well, we're going to beat Semyon to death, too. Hopefully we don't kill him. Most ardent hope would be that we don't, like, execute him on the spot. There we go, so we've captured him. Let's go ahead and take Semyon, and we'll get everybody back at base, and everybody's going to need to rest off for a little bit. And I think this is a really good punctuation for us to break off this episode. So, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcastle for the first episode of Rimworld. A pretty sweet little game by Ludion Software. I'm going to put it down in the comments down below if you wanted to get the game. Take care out there, everybody, and I will see you in the next episode.